Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
Oh my God.
Are we started? Are we starting?
Oh my
Christ.
God.
That's
it
a hell
started
of a way.
with Jackie
Wow.
muttering, "Let's finish."
That seems like a terrible way to begin a podcast. I would like to apologize immediately.
It's my favorite podcast beginning ever.
Hi, Laurie Kilmartin.
Hello, Jacqueline.
All right. So you had a flight problem yesterday.
Oh my God. I was. Now I knew it was going to cut it close.
Okay.
It was also prohibitively expensive to change to an earlier flight.
Okay.
But there was supposed to be an America's Got Talent audition.
Yeah.
Showcase at Flappers, and I was on it. And my flight was getting in around 7:30, and the showcase started at 7:30. But getting into Burbank, I mean,
Yep.
I'm there at 8.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Should have been fine.
Fine. Even if I'm at 8:30, they're still going till 9:30.
Yeah.
So our plane, as this happens on JetBlue, ran out of fuel, and so we just stopped.
That's insane.
We stopped in Albuquerque to get more fuel.
Did they just put $5 in?
They top off at every airport in America. I've done the other thing where you leave Burbank and it's really windy, so they can't put as much fuel in just to get the plane in the air, and then you stop in Salt Lake for more fuel. But this was a different weather situation out of JFK. I guess they had to fly lower. That uses more fuel, so
Wow.
we all agreed it seemed like a good idea to stop and get fuel. But then I didn't get in the plane didn't get in till around 10ish, and then
so it was over.
So that was over. Yeah,
That's bananas.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I was wondering if anyone jumped in and took my spot, cleverly.
I'm sure someone would have if they would have. Someone asked me today if I was doing it, and I was like, no, I've already got PTSD from last comic. I don't need.
You need a story, right?
Right.
They want a narrative. They want you to be, something that America can cheer for.
Yeah.
And like Jackie, our friend Jackie Fabulous just did it, and she did great. And her
story was that she was a lawyer.
Yeah, and her mom didn't believe in her, and now she's like, nah, Mom. It's like, this is awesome. I love it. She's single. She's feeling herself up in the ready room. She's making out with Simon Cowell. I mean, it was fun. It's like, that's someone you're like, oh, she's fun. I want her to win.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's got something going on. Right. I was way too sane for last comic, and just, I was trying to, I brought a board game for us to play, some apples to apples. It was 2006. It was a simpler time. Anyway.
Well, your story would be, been doing it for 30 years. But they'd have to make your career sound like complete shit.
Right.
So that America would get behind you.
Right, and I'm sure that Jackie Fabulous does not hate her mother. I'm sure she's fine. And
well, it's not fair. I mean, if hating your mother is what gets you on AGT,
oh my God,
it's really not fair.
You would win.
But I feel like with me, it would be some single mother shit, and then we have to drag a kid into it, and I wouldn't put him in it at all.
Yeah, you wouldn't want.
I wouldn't want him to be part of any sort of storyline.
Right, you'd have to come up with a separate narrative.
Mostly because he'd trash me. He'd be like, she's so embarrassing.
That would actually sell. That would sell just fine. That'd be amazing. So, I have discussed stand-up comedy at length with some people. First of all, I've done a boatload of amazing shows recently
in LA.
Where I've got to watch a lot of really great the new crop of women comics. And when I say new, they're 10, 12 years in.
Right. That's exactly it. Now you're like a sophomore in high school.
It's amazing. I mean, but they're all wonderful. I did Put Your Hands Together. I did this thing called Peacock in Atwater Village.
I've done that.
I just did that thing at the house in Sherman Oaks.
The one with the comedy
studio.
bunker.
Yeah, the comedy bunker. Yeah, I did that.
Wasn't that fun?
It was really fun.
I mean, you're being led past a bunch of musicians working on some album, right?
I think they were just baby haircuts in the audience. Like, they were just literally like,
oh, you have to be cool to be invited.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's got to be a special evite, and then you're going into someone's private house, and it's got guards, and then you're walking past rappers that are living in kind of this compound.
No one was
working
there.
on stuff.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah. No one was there while I was there. Mm-hmm. I think there was some people recording. An Albanian rapper was recording this afternoon. Is what the guy told me, and I was like, "Well, there's a hook." With like a peroxide haircut. Okay, blonde, but yeah, there was some everybody was so unique. And then the last night I saw Jamie Lee at the Improv, and that was wonderful.
Yeah, she's great.
It was so. The next episode of The Dork Forest is with this guy who wrote a book about Greg Giraldo. Matt Ballacher, a friend with Carmen Morales.
Okay.
I have a copy of it. You could both borrow it. And so we went into a rabbit hole about stand-up comedy and the road and the problem. So the next episode of The Dork Forest is entirely stand-up comedy. And then I just yesterday did Greg Fitzsimmons' podcast, where for some reason we got down a rabbit hole of and at one point I said, I'm folding my arms. And then what I did not say was, so that I do not leap across this desk and murder you.
Why?
Because
Are you just tired
of
talking about stand-up?
No, Greg Fitzsimmons, I've known him for 25 years,
I
right?
love him. He's so funny.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
And he has, and it's all different kinds of stand-up, and it's all, it runs a spectrum from the darkest, weirdest, but
to very silly,
smart. And it's all smart. It's all...
Yeah.
And I've seen old people laugh at some of his darkest, meanest stuff because his heart isn't dark and mean.
Yeah.
It's comedy. They all have punchlines.
He also, like, he's still married. Like, he's married to the mother of his children. Like, it's so fucking hard to keep that normal life when you're a stand-up comic. And he's on the road a lot. Like, he's always working. He's either writing something or he's on the road.
He's always been he's done the writing thing.
Yes.
He's done but he told me it's fascinating about how he talks about I was asking him about filling the room, and how he did it. And he said every month he does Carolla's podcast if he can.
Wow.
And every 6 weeks he does Rogan's podcast if he can.
Wow.
And then 3 or 4 times a year he does Bert Kreischer's podcast.
Kreischer is his podcast is huge?
I think it's
bigger than Carolla's?
No.
Okay.
No,
okay.
nobody's. I don't think anybody's.
Okay.
But the thing, what he has sort of the best of those douchebaggy fans of Carolla and Rogan's, right? Because if you're on either of those shows for any length of time, he used to do Howard Stern a lot too.
Yeah.
And but if you're on those shows and if you're like, oh, that guy's coming, I like that guy.
Yeah.
You're going to be sort of somebody who likes Adam Carolla show and Joe Rogan show, but aren't the meanest guys in the world.
It is an advantage to be a white guy who has friends that are white guys that have podcasts
that are all about white guys.
Yeah.
And white guy followers.
It does help.
Oh yeah, it turns out. I emailed Bert Kreischer today
for everybody.
Yeah, congrats. It's all working out. So, but we ended up because it was this conversation, and I don't know if he'll edit it or what he'll do with it.
Yeah.
But there was what I was going to murder him about was he was just talking about how women comics don't headline because they have to work up through the system.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
That you gotta have women MCs.
Yeah.
And then you have to have women features.
Yeah, if I can do that too.
And then of course there'll be plenty of women headliners, and the reason there's no women headliners is because there aren't any women MCs.
Well, I don't accept any of those premises. I don't.
Well, that's why I said I'm going to fold my arms.
Oh, I see.
So that I don't murder you.
It's weird. You like someone, and then they start talking. Like, it's like, oh, the conversation should have ended 4 minutes ago.
Well,
and I could have left here, and everything would be okay. And then they keep talking, and you're like, ah.
Well, and I tried to explain to him.
Yes, I'm going to turn the heat down. Is this okay?
I've tried to explain to him the premise that we've been explaining for 2 years on this show, which is that people aren't unicorns. Like, I know 4 Asian women comics. I bet Helen Hong knows a dozen. You know, it turns out Baron Vaughn knows more black comics than I do.
Yeah.
I know more women comics than Greg Fitzsimmons does. And I was
but he knows 3 white males who do podcasts. So, I mean, we all have our specialties.
And he was like, that's why I usually bring a woman feature with me, because then she can headline next time. And he said, and it's worked out. And I was like, that is good.
Yeah.
No.
That's great.
He is. And that's the thing about Greg Fitzsimmons, is that he is one of the good guys who thinks about this stuff.
Yes.
But also cannot see it because he's sitting in a pile of lavender. He is inside a gravy boat, and it's hard to see over the edge.
Yeah.
That not everybody's in a gravy boat.
Well,
but it was fascinating because he was talking about Nick DiPaolo and
oh my God,
and how much he just makes him laugh because he says things that everybody's thinking, and he says it, and I said, not everybody's thinking it. and then later, like 10 minutes later, we were talking about women headliners, and I said, like Jena Friedman, and he got the tightest look on his face. And I said, have you seen her Conan, that Nazi thing? And he goes, no, was it funny? And I said, it was fucking genius, and it's amazing. And he goes, and I said, you know the thing that you think about Nick DiPaolo where he says things that everyone's thinking? That's what Jena Friedman's doing for everyone else. Jena Friedman's act is and there's plenty of Emily Heller. There's and Jamie Lee last night. There's women comics right now that are saying things that are not what white dudes are thinking.
Yes.
Right? Which is why I love them. Because they're things that
that's a great
been
point. Because there aren't any male comics saying the stuff Jena Friedman's saying at all.
No,
not a single one.
And why would they? But I'll tell you, women comics have been like Lisa Lampanelli was very shock jock.
Yeah,
she was saying stuff that male comics were saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right.
And that
specifically
was her
Don Rickles.
Right, specifically. Yeah. And he was saying that he said, well, don't you think that they're, and he doesn't talk like this. I don't know why I got to use the dumb voice. But
I like the dumb voice. I think for every guy except Obama, we use the dumb voice. Okay.
So, but he said, so don't you think that there's like this unspoken rule now where you can't be mean, sort of like comics have got to take like that thing that the doctors have to take. And I said, the Hippocratic Oath? You think there's a Hippocratic Oath of stand-up comedy that is happening? He's like, yeah, don't you? And I was like, no, I do not. I know that there isn't, because there's still plenty. I mean, CK's still, and I told him this. I was like, yeah, CK's still working. Nick DiPaolo's still working. Jim Norton's got weeks. Everyone's working. Everybody's working.
Some crowds are a little more sensitive and moany. Yeah. And so that maybe they'll bump into that. But that's okay. Yeah. You know, they don't walk out. They just moan instead of laugh.
Right.
That's
well,
okay.
and that's what we were talking about. He was like, oh, he also does this thing where he invites people to come second show Friday and heckle him.
Oh.
He said, I don't want to do my act anyway. So feel free to come and yell stuff, because I will moita you.
That's cool.
That was pretty cool.
I wonder...
but that's not going to go
does
until
that
June
happen
11th.
too much?
He said he gets a fair amount of it. He's like, he's got to fill the room, he said. Yeah. So it's one of the ways he does radio. And
what?
No,
Jackie, your phone is...
My phone decided to talk
spying
to us.
On us.
Oh, classic. I was talking to this woman.
But dude, the things you have to do to fill the room. Holy shit. Yeah. I mean, is he recording it and stuff like that and doing the Hofstadter?
Oh, God. I didn't ask. That's a fascinating question. Where comic destroys heckler?
Yeah.
Like Greg Fitzsimmons?
Right.
Greg Fitzsimmons probably does destroy hecklers.
Oh, he does. Yeah. He's funny.
I saw a great clip today of Ted Alexandro.
Oh, my God. I love Ted Alexandro.
That guy.
So smooth.
Should be.
So smooth.
Should be famous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Should be.
He kind of famously doesn't have a manager, and he books all of his own stuff. Okay. And, you know, he had a web series with Gaffigan called the teacher's lounge, and he opens for Gaffigan, and he opened for Louis for a long time before all this shit went down.
Right.
So, I mean, everyone respects him.
Yeah.
He's really funny.
Yeah.
God.
He's a delight.
His Letterman, after he just turned 40, it was all about turning 40. It's so good. I wonder if it's still up on the internet. I think the Late Show took down all the Letterman stuff.
Oh, really?
CBS did, yeah.
Oh,
like you had to have saved your own Letterman set.
Okay.
Not that I know. Now, Jackie. But I have all my shit saved. Like I have all my Last Comic Standing stuff saved because the NBC just made the whole series disappear off the internet. I love it because there's footage of Greg Giraldo talking about me. You know, because
here's what I would have loved.
He was a judge, and they say, "What do you think about Laurie Kilmartin?" I want to hear 5 minutes of Greg Giraldo talking about me.
Yeah,
someone's got it.
Someone has got Gary Marshall talking about me.
Wow.
Yeah, on Last Comic Standing, but that's not what they showed because they cut me.
Right.
So they showed the guy from SNL.
Chris Kattan,
maybe
he's the only guy I think of. I don't know why.
Comic from SNL.
Tim Meadows.
Yeah, okay. Tim Meadows saying, "Where are you from?"
Yeah.
Instead of literally, Gary Marshall said to me, "You were very talented," which I would like that.
So they were, of course you would, and they were guest judges or something.
They were the judges. It was him and just died old New York
comic.
Yeah.
Died.
Wait, I don't. But was he the one who died? There's two of them. There's this guy. Remember the guy with the tick?
You're touching your forehead repeatedly.
Right. The Seinfeld era. Italian, Jewish, something like that. He's
Italian
always like
and Jewish.
Just fucking from New York and twitchy as all fuck. What?
Shecky Hemorrhoid. Shecky Spaghetti. Was it Shecky Spaghetti? Did he die? That's terrible.
Please call the show Shecky Spaghetti. And well, no, it's over. It was like it's not Rich Hall, but it's like Rick. It's whatever. They're just.
I can only think of alive ones.
Okay. Well, what are the live ones?
Rich Francesi is Italian from New
Right.
York. Rick,
who always goes to the therapist guy. He's got
Richard Lewis. He's alive,
right? Is he alive? That's your contemporary.
When you were saluting the president, that's you doing an impression of Richard Lewis.
First of all, I don't know if you know about my impressions. I should definitely be on Saturday Night Live with just the sheer enormity of accents that I do. And I wasn't saluting the president.
You were touching your forehead like a salute.
No, you were at a bad angle. But I'm not. I have no defense of any sort of impressions that I've ever made of anybody.
Right.
Would you like to hear my impression of Keanu Reeves as James Bond?
I guess.
Well, now it's not going to happen.
Well, wait. So how did we get down this rabbit hole of people?
Gary Marshall saying something nice, and Greg Giraldo saying something nice about you.
Yeah,
I want
fucking footage. I don't know, but I know he said nice stuff because he told me he said nice stuff. Okay. I don't know if they aired it.
Oh,
but we were friends.
Yeah.
I was in New York last weekend.
Oh, wow.
Now, it was a nice 4-day stay.
Right, because the Memorial Day.
Yeah,
nice.
And we're on hiatus this week.
This week as well?
Yeah. So
wait, aren't you doing Houston?
Yeah, tomorrow morning.
Right, you're going tomorrow.
I have a 7 a.m. flight.
Right. Joke joint.
Yes. Well, this will have aired after. Right. Hopefully you guys showed up, you motherfuckers. Don't let Stormy beat me.
That's it. You got to fill the room.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Talk about filling the room.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to invite hecklers.
No.
I mean, I like talking to the crowd, but I don't want, because to me that's inviting alcoholics.
Well, I don't like talking to the crowd.
I don't like talking to someone who wants to talk. I like talking to somebody who you have to budge a little bit, and then they go, oh, fuck it, all right. And then that's fun. So New York was like beautiful weather. Mm-hmm. Aside from my spots, I did not leave my bed.
Oh, you just slept it out?
I didn't. Well, I mean, I worked out. Okay.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't. Here's the thing.
You just worked and slept.
My bed, the the sheets are so white and crisp, right?
Are they cotton?
I don't know.
Or are you doing a sateen? I stayed with my mother-in-law, and she has sateen.
I'm
not
not
a huge
sure.
fan.
I
like
think
a
that they're
cotton.
cotton.
I
Yeah.
like just a plain,
And
super clean.
yeah, they look like snow, like brand new snow. And I have giant mattresses on top of each other. So when I sit on my bed, it's like I'm the captain of a ship. And I look out the window. I could look and watch people walk up and down 145th for the rest of my life. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the parade of humanity. And it's slightly
From a
on
safe
hill.
distance. It's lovely.
Yes. Well, and the arguments too. I mean, I hear it all. I love it all. I'm
Okay.
all ears on an argument, a male-female argument on the street.
You love 'em,
I'm
Mrs.
like, my
Kravitz?
head is out the window. I'm trying to get all the words. But the people walk up the hill and they're kind of tired. And
Yep.
then there's other people that are joyfully walking down. I mean, the mood, the difference between the ups and the downs is unbelievable. And then I did spots at the Broadway, and some of those were really fun. And stand up, some of those were really fun. And it was a Memorial Day weekend, so a lot of people were out of town.
Right?
Everyone leaves the city. New York Comedy Club was fun.
Oh, good.
Both of them.
Is the stand up and at it yet?
It's so close.
It's
I
close.
think it's going to be up by the next time I go back. But I think they had their last pop up.
Okay.
And it's always like Patrick sends the address. It's like, where is this place? And you're just, I'm so excited to not have to find a place that's hidden.
That'll be great.
Yeah, but I guess the new location is right near Union Square, which is like
Oh
near
my God.
15 stations.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's gonna be great, and they're gonna have
Yeah.
2 rooms, and you can
Oh,
do
wow.
one spot and one spot, like bam, 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 like
nice.
Yeah, like if Flappers was doing the Yoo-Hoo and Main Room, and you got 100 per spot on a
Right.
weekend, 4 shows,
That'll be something.
sweet, right?
Yeah. All of a sudden, my fucking foot hurts.
Oh,
Too much info, but whatever.
or not enough.
Not enough. All right.
Did it all of a sudden start cramping?
No, it's like it feels like all of a sudden my foot has a bone spur, but I would hate that if that were so.
Oh,
Like, if are we in the moment of the creation of a bone spur? Are we all here together while it's happening?
all I can see is your bunion-free feet, and I am white hot rage. I'm as white as my sheets. in Manhattan.
Full of rage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I went up to my mother-in-law's, and her house is now cleaner than mine. I helped her clean her house.
Wow,
Andy, we did a lot of yard work for her. And
she's newly widowed, right?
right. She's
So
newly-
is she sort of unable to do that stuff right now?
Right. 8 months ago, Fran passed,
Mm-hmm.
and then 8.5 months ago, she broke her hip and leg and got a hip replacement.
That's right.
And so she can't really. So she's just still in recovery,
Right.
And it's not working out. Plus, she's bummed. First year,
Yes,
it's a bummer.
right.
So But my favorite thing about going to the Central Valley of California is
oh my
to
God, Jackie! It
to try
just
to
gets worse every detail.
Well, is to find Devin Nunez's house and egg it. Is what I do like to do is find a decent restaurant because it's a challenge.
Yeah.
It's good times. So we went into Visalia. I'm not saying it's a party when you go to Central Valley.
They have
And-
oranges, right? Visalia oranges? Or is it?
Oh, yeah.
Is there
There's
a
plenty
fruit
of there's
associated
oranges.
with
There's
Visalia? Yeah.
there's oranges. There's olives. Yeah, it's great. Matter of fact, there were fresh strawberries at the market right there, at the side.
Right.
And she lives kind of by the sequoias, so it's gorgeous. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very beautiful where she is. It's and her neighbor planted. He is a horticulturist, and she has a big yard. And he's like, "Hey, can I plant some tomatoes and watermelons?"
Oh my God!
And so we're going to be rich in tomatoes and watermelons if you guys want tomatoes and watermelons.
I can't believe people can grow a watermelon.
Oh yeah, I've done it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
That's cool. Let's see. I met with an architect today.
Did you?
And I'm fucked.
Are you? Are you?
Yeah, there's a lot of little rules in this piece of shit town, And basically,
you can't. They won't let you.
There's a lot of potential problems that would cost a lot of money, and it's like, okay, we're all just gonna use one bathroom, I guess. I guess that's that.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's nothing to be done, as far as you can tell. It would be $500,000.
It would cost a lot and take up to a year.
Oh,
and
God.
Jackie, I don't want to manage a construction site. And
Right.
The money my mother could contribute, or cover, which would be nice. Or I could take out a loan. Mm-hmm. That's not nice. It's just like, oh my God. But so I guess I've had all these dreams for like 6 months. I've been doing sketches. I drew like a little model of the house layout, and I'm like, oh, and it's like, probably not.
Right.
That won't work. It won't.
Yeah.
It won't work.
No.
The way all this shit about setbacks and
what about
the guy's like, if you just live 2 miles that way. I'm like, oh my God,
stop talking.
Don't tell me that,
sir. Really? So there's no way to just add on even another bathroom.
Everything has to be 10 feet away from.
Oh, right. From borders.
Yeah.
And stuff.
So like this little laundry area back here, he goes, is that legal? And I'm like, I assume so. It was with the house.
Right.
Well, if you add on anything over here, the inspector's going to come. And if this isn't legal, he'll make you tear this out. It's like, oh, now I'm what?
Right.
No.
You know what, Andy?
No.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Andy said the same thing about, he went and he looked at the lot from the house that he bought, that I am now sweat equity in. And he's like, we're not legal on the alley.
What do you mean?
Because there has to be 5 feet in Van Nuys.
From your garage to the alley?
Right, from our garage to the alley.
Okay.
And there's a like a spider shed or something.
Okay.
I call it the spider shed.
Yeah.
That's where
Is
we
it
keep
like
the
this
spiders.
laundry area?
It just juts out too far. And, and it's we just keep the Christmas stuff in there.
Yeah, right.
Anyway,
right.
So but it the shape of our lot is so weird that he doesn't know what. Tomorrow I'm going to go over to my friend's house and she has purchased like a trailer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
like
it's
a little silver.
I don't know what it's gonna. I'll let everyone know.
Okay.
And it's but it's I thought it was a tiny house, and she knows things. Like I know that she's done a lot of work on her house.
Yeah.
In Pasadena.
Yeah.
But I think that they have a lot more money than I do. Yeah, so
right.
And she is incredibly organized, and she used to work in documentaries and she was a stand-up, and
she was a stand-up.
Yeah.
Do I know her?
I don't think so. Jennifer McLean. She was my roommate for.
Oh yeah.
You know
I
her?
don't think I do know her though.
Yeah,
No.
she was.
But you've talked about her.
She's from Minneapolis Comics. She's from Wisconsin, and she ended up marrying Aaron Lee. Mm-hmm. I don't know, whatever. But but she has been. They have 2 children, and she's been organizing. So she's incredibly organized, and so she's really good finding draftsmen instead of architects. If you find just a draftsman, I'm told, you don't. It's cheaper.
Okay.
And then they can file all the paperwork and all this. I mean, these are quality problems. I don't know. I don't know how to fix them, but I'm going to go ask her. So if I find anything out, I'll let you know.
Oh God.
I'm going to Dayton this week.
Oh, are you
With
working?
Maria.
Were you working? Jokers?
Don't know.
Wait, Wiley's?
I don't think so. I think it's
theater?
a small theater. Yeah, and
Was
all
there
I know
some
is
sort of-
Maria's in Columbus this week. She was in Columbus with Sumak Tolgalkar.
Yeah.
Because he was home, Columbus, Ohio, doing the Funny Bone. And there's
Is that the room?
Stroop.
Right, and he makes you come in to fly in to audition to headline.
Yeah,
Okay.
unless you have powerful.
Unless you can get out of it.
Yeah, unless
Okay.
there's people. You have people.
I guess I can't get out of it.
I have never.
So
been
I
able to
won't
get
work
out of
it.
Right. I spent $800 to go do it.
Really?
Yeah, probably 15, 16 years ago. And he said, and first of all, he said, "You come in, You'll audition. You'll do a 45-minute set on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I fly in. I get a hotel. I show up. He's like, yeah, I just need you to do 12. I was furious. I did the 12. Did well. He liked it. Never booked me. 15 years later.
Fuck.
I was pretty bad. And it turns out. And pretty poor.
Right.
Because I didn't have $800 at that time.
800's a lot now.
800 now is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So, I did buy tickets for us to go to France.
Hey! Finally!
Andy and I are going to go to France, and I'm going to pay it off before September.
That's cool.
I'm just going to throw money at it until it's all paid off, and then I'm hoping to pick up a set in Paris.
When?
End of September to first 2 weeks of October.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And it's supposed to be 50s. But we're going to go look at a Paleozoic... we're going to go to Lyon. Mm-hmm. We're going to go look at Paleozoic cave paintings. Mm-hmm. But not the actual cave paintings. We will stand next to the caves where they have created holograms of what's in the caves.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You don't want to damage the caves.
Don't want to damage the caves.
Jackie, how nice it must be to travel with an adult who has similar tastes as you.
Right. It will be.
Meanwhile, I'm planning a another learning vacation.
With the boy?
Yes.
Where are you going?
Well, I would like to go to the Anne Frank house. I have...
oh, right.
Marked off the day I want to go, and they release the tickets 2 months in advance.
Yeah.
So I have that's an alarm. And then, London will just go around, do a bunch of
Harry Potter.
I got Harry Potter tickets.
I bought season tickets to Universal because I said to Andy, I want to go to an amusement park. It was a week ago. It was when we got a week ago Monday.
Yeah.
And I haven't been to an amusement park and it turns out season tickets to Universal are enormously cheap if you don't want to go on a weekend or in the summer. And
How about if you don't want to go?
If you don't want to go, they're almost free.
They seem like a terrible deal if you don't want to go.
If you don't want to go. We went and had breakfast at the Three Broomsticks. I bought a new Seeker hat, baseball hat. And then we went on many rides. And then we went on the Simpsons rides. That was too long. She is yawning.
I'm tired.
It is sleepy time. Hey, I bet you it's 30 minutes, though. 32. Let's talk about Diana Hong.
Yes.
I saw her set the other night, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, she's very funny. I saw her. I forget the show. It was kind of near Atwater Village. It's over in that area of York. And I think it was Maggie May's birthday party. But she was really funny.
And she was super funny. I saw her at a different show, and she, I think, lives down in Orange County and comes up to do sets. I asked her to do the Dork
that's
Forest.
Brutal.
Yeah, but it says someone who will go to Orange County. You, that's what I'm talking about, to do sets.
That's true.
And but Diana Hong, what is her handle?
It's Well Honged.
Well Honged.
Yeah.
WELLHONGED.
Capital D.
Just Hong with a capital D at the end.
Yes.
So is that her last name
Hong.
too?
Duh.
I thought she kind of pronounced it with a little differently than just Hong. No, maybe I was just.
I believe it's upon dicks.
No, I
I think she got well Honged.
Kyle.
She understood the
Yes,
joke. Kyle just said, I think it's a play on words
Yes.
about dicks.
Yes.
Anyway.
I was on board with that.
We're all a little
What I
punchy.
meant was that in real life,
But her name is Diana Hong.
Straight Hong is how
Yeah,
she
I
pronounces
believe.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know that she's straight, but yeah, I think it's she is not. She is. She is
Okay.
not. All I know is she's fucking hilarious.
Yes.
And everyone should find her and get her some work.
Okay.
Well Honged. By the way, here's a great place to put a Max Fun plug.
Welcome.
Thank you.
These are real podcast listeners, not actors. What do you look for in a podcast?
Reliability is big for me.
Power.
I'd say comfort.
What do you think of this?
Oh.
That's Jordan Jesse Go.
Jordan Jesse Go?
They came out of the floor?
And down from the ceiling?
That can't be safe.
I'm upset.
Can we go now?
Soon. Jordan Jesse Go, a real podcast.
And we're back.
We are back.
Guys.
So I was in New York. Okay, first of all, there's a huge controversy about Milo Yiannopoulos appearing on a podcast.
Okay.
At the Creaking Cave. That was like everyone was buzzing about it and stuff like that. And then I think it's sort of they did it at another venue besides the Creaking Cave.
Oh, they just moved it out.
But it's just weird. It's just like this. There is an alt-right attraction for some male comics, which is just odd to me. Right.
It's there's a great deal of injustice in the world, and sometimes straight white male comics are not. They're coming from a place where it's all working out, but they're not getting enough. And so they get, when I meet a straight male, white male comic who's mad, and he's in his early 30s, and he's just like, and he just goes, are you going to write a name down?
No.
Okay.
No.
But you're going to write down 30 names?
No.
Yeah, but it's exhausting because you're just like, things are working out for you, but they're just not fast enough or good enough. And you think that because of it, you're some sort of incel. And it just, as they create greater problems than there is.
We all come to comedy for reasons, right?
Sure do.
Most of us are mad about something. But I think it's weird when you see some guys they're still fucking angry about the same stuff they were mad about before they were successful.
Yeah.
And before they figured out how to be a stand-up. Like, there's a lot of comics that started out barely able to talk, right? And make eye contact. And they kind of worked it out. And now they're these sort of personable guys on stage and very charismatic. But they're still really pissed. They're still like pissed off, inarticulate 16-year-olds.
Right.
I guess that's what's sort of strange.
They haven't
to me.
processed it, and the weird thing is about stand-up is that it is very cathartic, and it can heal a bunch of problems that you had when you were 16.
Yeah,
but you can't just do stand-up. You have to work on all the rest. I mean, you have to figure out a way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think that the guys I'm thinking about have families and stuff like that. It's just, to me, it's an odd anger to hold on to. And I don't know. I don't understand kind of like reevaluating things every once in a while and looking at the world and going, oh, I guess I missed that stuff before.
Right. There seems to be a problem. I don't know. They did some study, and it said it was harder for men to admit that they were wrong about stuff than for women.
Fucking trust me with this one in the house. Yes, believe me, 100%.
Right, and there's nothing. I've never had a problem, especially if I don't have a horse in that race. Like I don't. I used to have day jobs, and they would explain to me how to do things, and I'd be like, well, you're going to need to explain it 2 more times. Because
not me. I pretend to be an expert immediately and then hope they don't find out.
And then do it wrong? What do I care? You were doing a mailing. You're probably going to want it done correctly, and I don't give a shit. So I want to do whatever you want done, and then I will get a paycheck at the end of this, and I'll get to do stand-up comedy when you're not staring at me. So that's my whole agenda. But a lot of, there's just people who can't admit, and and when it goes hand in hand with a comic who stops writing, that is a person I don't want to talk to them. Yeah. I don't want to hang out with them. I can't face it.
I didn't notice that anyone stopped writing. I was just surprised that you could live in this world in the past 4 years, the past 2 years, 3 years, and not pivot your worldview. Like you're still, I'm going to make fun of that thing, and not try to go, what is that thing? Before I automatically take out the same howitzer I've taken out since I started doing open mics, right?
Right.
Like let me examine it first, and then because it would make you a better comic too if you had kind of a surprising point of view that people didn't expect from you, because you learned a little bit. Like Bill Burr does that all the time, where you think he's going to go one way, and you're like, oh.
Right.
Oh, that's cool.
It's called a twist. Dude writes a punchline for every joke. It's something I've always enjoyed about Bill Burr, is that he's not screwed around.
But
and
I was reading, there's this article on incels in New York Magazine, and one of the incels they profiled taught comedy.
oh, Christ on a cracker.
Yeah.
Well, didn't
It made
Patton,
100%
Who was it?
sense.
Was it you or was it Patton Oswalt who was saying that?
Patton.
They all want to be. They all want to be
stand-ups.
comics. All the right wing.
Gavin McInnes was drunk and tried to do stand up at the stand.
Right. It just. It doesn't. I don't know.
Glenn
you know
Beck
who
was a
didn't?
stand-up.
Ursula Le Guin. She was not like, oh, you know what I want to do? Stand-up comedy.
retweeted one of your.
Oh, that Ursula. That happened
You
this
had
week.
a great Ursula quote.
So I quoted Ursula Le Guin's story about her abortion. And in 1950, she got an abortion. And she was talking about how if she wouldn't have had that abortion, because she had to have an illegal abortion, she went to her parents and she said, imagine if I couldn't have gone, the girls who can't go to their parents.
Right.
And she said, and she also talked about how when she told her boyfriend that she was pregnant, he told a funny story about how a buddy of his in the army, the buddy in the army said, all of my buddies will come over and say we all fucked her, and so no one will know who the father is. And then he laughed and laughed.
Oh my God!
And she
About
was like-
her?
Not about her. About this other woman. And then so her father borrowed money so that she could get an abortion, and they found somebody.
Wow.
To do the abortion in 1950. And she said, what would have happened if I would have had that child? I would have had that child for the government. I would have had that child for society. And she said, I would not have had any of the children that I have.
Yeah.
Because my life would have been so different that I wouldn't have had any children.
Right.
And so it's an amazingly well written, as you can imagine, Ursula Le Guin wrote this story. And so I just broke down the story into like probably 8 tweets.
Yeah.
And it has gotten like 22,000 likes.
Wow.
And 11,000 retweets.
Wow.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Nothing I've ever... And thank you, Ursula Le Guin, for writing something so great. Because nothing I've ever written has ever gotten that kind of attention. And most people have been pretty cool about it. I haven't gotten a lot of trolls, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I've gotten like 2 people who like... And 2 out of 22,000? That feels like a win.
Yeah. Female comics are like bringing it on this issue completely, you know?
Oh, right.
It's pretty cool. Janelle James said some great stuff, and Megan Gailey said some great stuff, you know?
That's great. So the other night I did Put Your Hands Together, and I worked with this Chicago comic who just moved here.
Yeah.
And her name is Brandy Denise.
Okay. And
she told a weird story that I missed. Did you guys hear that there was a shooting in Chicago?
Well,
comics got
twice a day.
Well, no, and some comics. There were like 3 or 4 comics there, and one of the comics got hit by a random bullet in the foot.
What?
Right. I don't have enough information. Deb DiGiovanni. I was up next, and so I'd pop in, and I tried to, and I was like, "What's it called?" And she said it was the Velveeta something. It was Velvet. Might have just been Velvet. And I tried to Google it, and I couldn't find it. And then Deb DiGiovanni, we drove over to the Improv together, and she had heard most of it, but she also couldn't remember all the details. And Brandy said that that an older comic, when the shooting started, pushed her out of the way.
Oh, wow.
This older dude, and then afterwards apologized. And she said he was pretty old. He had to be like 40.
Oh, my God. I'm going to
45.
push her in front of a bullet if I ever meet her.
So get this. So she says that, and then all of a sudden she looks at me, and she looks at Deb, and then she goes, "No, I think he's got to be a lot older. I think he's been doing it for like 20 years." And,
no, you can't. You can't save yourself. You know what? You can't save yourself. Just
she's like, I think
jump into traffic right now. It's over.
She literally goes, he had to be 50 or 55.
No. On
I could do was laugh.
On the third try, it got worse. How's that possible?
It made me laugh so hard. I was like,
By the way, he's probably 60.
and I just leaned in, and I was just, I didn't laugh at her,
Yeah.
but I just had this smile on my face of like, what else is she gonna say? Just keep digging.
my
kid.
God.
Keep digging.
Well, so the comic pushed her to safety, or
No, pushed her
so he could be
get
safe.
to safety.
Oh my God! What a true male comic heart. Out of the way, female opener.
And then he came back and was like, I need 10 minutes. Who's got 10 minutes for me? No, I don't know what he said, but it did make me, it was a fascinating story. It was a great lineup, though. Cara Connors had a very funny, at one point she did this impression of how she likes to meet dogs. And that was a very silly, fun joke that I really liked.
Oh?
There was a guy named Moses.
Storm?
I think so. Mm-hmm. On TV?
Blue eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Introduced as like boyishly handsome by Emily Mills.
He went on the Conan tour.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay. He had
on-
some great lines.
That new show coming out, I can't remember what it's
Yeah, with Joel Kim Booster, right? Yeah. I forget the name of the show though.
Oh, I will. Yeah, I will massacre some. Are you kidding? I'm sure I got his name wrong. Who knows?
When I met Moses, I was like, "Oh, he must be." I thought he was like a former child star. you know?
Okay.
And then his like real story, it's like single mother, 5 kids, poverty, and
Wow.
I was like, "Oh, sorry." I thought, for some reason, I
Oh, you
like,
just worked hard and then and got some work. Interesting.
No, he's very funny. He's a very nice guy.
Yeah.
So Corinne Fisher from Guys We Fucked.
Okay. Oh, right.
Yes. Some lunatic slash comic. I mean, believe me, they coexist in the same person. But
Right.
was it on Facebook or I forget which?
It
social
was on
media. Yeah,
Facebook.
so he announced that he wanted to decapitate her.
Right.
And
Literally by like with her initials and then the initials of her podcast.
yeah. And so
And
yeah.
wasn't his avatar?
I don't know.
It was
I didn't.
somebody. I thought it was this guy.
But when I
Right?
heard the name, I knew the name because I just kind of seen it hanging around comedy. Yeah, that's his name. Yes.
That was supposedly his name.
Yeah.
But his picture.
Oh, that's
was
not
of that
good.
guy.
That's not cool.
Yeah. So
Well, anyway. So
Anyway.
at New York Comedy Club, she had a spot at New York Comedy Club on the
this
show I
weekend?
was on. Yeah, and the cops were there just to make sure everything was okay.
oh God.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
because he
what
said
the
that
fuck?
this guy said he was going to decapitate her on Memorial Day.
And then he something like, give me a list of female comics you want to murder or something like that.
Right. Then
Yeah.
it was that. And then Facebook wouldn't delete it. And Facebook wouldn't delete it. And then finally they deleted it. And a friend of ours
Yeah.
posted screenshots of it saying, this guy is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And then Facebook banned her.
They're so stupid. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know what, Mark? You should have fucking finished your degree at Harvard because you're a dropout and a moron.
Yeah. Hey, dum-dum. Yeah, why don't you get an honorary degree?
Not good
just-
enough. No, he actually needs to get some kind of liberal arts degree, study the humanities.
History
You know
of
what I mean?
weather. You know, I took a 5-credit science class called the History of the Weather.
Yeah.
And I got science credit for it. And it was a terrible class. I was just thinking about it the other day because the history of the weather should do something. It should either be an amazing story of what people wore and how people tried to predict the weather throughout history.
Right.
Or it should be like a dry study of sort of the history of the different instruments that we've used to do it. Like I want it to either be about how people dressed and lived and
Right.
all the things they dealt with weather, or the history of how people thought they were guessing what the next weather was. Right?
Jackie, Jackie,
Yes?
I think you just described your next podcast.
Oh, did you sent me that thing with that woman named Jackie who's on the Sci-Fi Network?
Well, I was invited on a podcast. First of all, the odds,
right.
I love to say no to podcasts.
Well,
I say no to this one.
I was so flattered
during
that
this
you
podcast.
did it in support, and then you were like,
But I was like,
I didn't want to.
I was so excited to have. I go, look, this sounds too close to my dear friend Jackie Patience podcast. She's been doing it for 14 years, called The Dork Forest, so I can't.
This is the 13th
participate.
year of the Dork Forest, but I appreciate the extra time.
I didn't hear back, but I was thrilled to have a legit excuse besides my
because
kid.
it's essentially the Dork Forest, but
yeah, but with a TV network behind
with
it.
a TV network behind it, and on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah,
but it's a podcast. And the host is this woman whose name is Jackie.
Yeah,
I don't know
too much.
her.
It's too much.
She follows me.
Oh,
on Twitter.
Well,
maybe she listens to the Dork Forest in the hopes of getting some hints.
You should have her on, and her dorkdom is Jackie-cation.
The only thing that was when I looked at the blurb about
what
the
if
show,
she does a show with Lori Loughlin, the Jackie and Laurie Show?
She should totally. She's just pacing me as a 35-year-old woman, and but she. I don't know how old she is, but what
she's not over 40.
Oh God, I hope not.
My
hope
God.
not. Poor thing.
What if she's 50 or 55?
Heaven forfend. Our birthdays are coming up.
Yes, I'll be at Comic-Con. I'm always at Comic-Con on my birthday, July 16th.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. And you're the 20th.
The 20th. I'm going to Milwaukee for the Armenian picnic.
Oh my
for the Armenian church picnic. I was going to try to use a companion pass and bring Andy.
But he...
but it's too expensive. And then
did something come up? How could he turn that down? First of all,
well, here's what he told me. He said, when he was just in Milwaukee for a game convention, and he stayed with my brother, and he went. There was a Bible study thing that he went to with my brother and his wife and the kids. But I said, Russ went to a Bible study, and Andy looked at me and said, he showed up after, because my family, the men in my family, love to go to church. But not go to church. They go and they have coffee, either in the hall.
They just hang out.
They just hang out. They talk to each other. And every time I've tried,
it's like the hardware store.
Yeah, there was a Ray Romano episode of Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah.
Wow, there's a helicopter in the background. Can you hear it?
They're searching for my unpermitted laundry room.
It's not there.
The processing Mr. Ray Romano episode of Everyone Loves Raymond.
Oh my God.
There was a Ray Romano. I never watched it. Russ watched all of the episodes. My brother Russ will call me and tell me what he's watching on television.
3 Friends.
3 episodes of Friends?
Yeah.
I watched so many episodes of Friends in syndication when I was on the road in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah.
That they were actually my friends. By the time it was over, I'd seen all of them.
I was at that point, late 90s, early 2000s in New York City. And so I wasn't bored on the road. I was hustling the day job and then
there wasn't enough
night.
time.
There's no TV.
There was no time. Like right now, I haven't watched. I want to watch all of these things. I want to see.
God, I watched Barry. Here's what I was doing while I was the captain of my bed watching people. I was watching Barry.
Yes,
it was so fucking good. We're in a chat, and Emily Heller's in our chat, and Emily writes for Barry, and people are congrats, and I'm like, I gotta watch. Like I can't congrat if I haven't seen it. So fucking good. It's so good. It's great. So now I'm like clear. I'm clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I started Game of Thrones. Hey guys, it's not bad. It is not bad at all. I'm halfway into it.
How many episodes are you into Game of Thrones?
I'm a season 1, like episode 6, I think.
Jesus, I never made it past episode 1. Here's what Game of Thrones is. They are hiding a sad sack political drama behind that fucking dragon. And don't do it. Don't do it. I don't need your sad sack political drama. I would like a happy political drama where good guys are not killed every 4 episodes. Or possibly every episode.
Listen,
how about that?
There's a lot of...
But you could take sad sack much more than I can.
There's you just have to accept some storylines are just beyond stupid. Where
don't belittle the stupid
basically
part.
a woman who's sold to a guy who rapes her somehow turns that marriage around.
Well, you know what I love
in
is
2
when-
episodes, she turns him from a brute to a forward-facing, cunnilingus-loving, tender man. It's like, okay, all right.
And what I love is when people say, well, you know, it's based on history. And you're like, the history of dragons and zombies? Hey, dumb shits.
Yeah.
How about you write a fantasy that doesn't have rape and slavery in it?
Yeah, I mean,
how about
Jessica, was it Chastain, I think? It was about the final season of Game of Thrones, and she was just saying, stop using rape as a way for women to have an emotional story. Like, hey, other things happen to us, and we can actually be agents of action instead of being the victims of things all the time.
Yeah.
Which, you know...
would be
yes, and it was just like, oh, even in season 7, they're like, you could see it in season 1, where this is way before people started talking about this a lot, and you'd think they would have learned at season 7, but they didn't have any female writers, anyone to step in and go, hey, you know, she doesn't have to be raped to cry, you know,
right?
Cry over other stuff,
right?
I don't know.
She could have burned the bread. Because women cook. I'll be over here. I'm not watching that show.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying.
All right.
I don't want to watch that. I don't want to watch Outlander. You know what I do want to watch? I want to watch Barry. I want to watch Dead to Me. I want to watch...
so good.
I want to watch
Fleabag?
the movie.
What?
I want to watch Fleabag. I want to watch the movie with the high
Wine
school
Country?
kids.
What?
The high school girls. The one that just came out.
Booksmart.
Booksmart. I want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
You know, we should have saw it last weekend when it counted.
I saw it.
You saw it? Yeah. And super fun, I heard.
It's okay.
Okay. Oh, really? Didn't blow you away?
I wish it was funnier. It's charming.
Yeah.
I love the characters in it. It's not super
Charming, but not riotously laughter. But
Every woman I know, though, loved it.
it might have changed some hearts and mind.
Oh, that's Carrie Fisher's daughter.
She's the best thing in that movie by a mile.
Wow.
Carrie,
Every scene she's in, she's the best thing in. I was just like, Billy Lord is insane in that movie. Every scene she's in is the best scene in the movie.
Her dad is a super agent, Brian Lord.
Jonah Hill's little sister is in it too. She's the lead.
Well, you know, it's nice to have these incredible coincidences that benefit your career.
It is so. I wonder how she got seen by casting.
But the thing is she's probably, because of both of them, well, let's go with Billy Lord, because of her mother and her grandmother, she's probably a great actress. It's in her genes.
Right.
You know, and she happens to have access to
A lot of training,
any
and then a
audition she
bunch of-
wants to go to.
Possibly.
Carrie Fisher's daughter wants to audition for a
Do you know
movie.
who I want to
Okay.
get? You would be the greatest get in the world for the Dork Forest. The woman who cast all the MCU movies. She, whose name I'm spacing, son of a bitch.
Wow, that's gonna be hard.
The shout out's going to be real hard if I can't remember the lady's name. But she did all of it. She did Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and Chris Helmsworth and Chris Pratt and all the other Chris's. And then, but she did also the backup dancers in the first Avenger. Like she must. Casting people never sleep anyway, right? I mean, when they're casting a show.
Yeah.
It's a 90-hour a week job until it's cast. And
That's what America's Got Talent is right now.
90 hours a week?
I would imagine. We have friends that work on that show.
Yeah. I mean,
Sharon Houston.
is Sharon Houston working on it?
I think she still is.
Has
or
she been
was.
a comic of the week? She's been a comic of the week, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She made it. I want, do you know what I love? I love that poster, the comic of the week poster with, I would like every year of the show, which is only 3. This is the 3rd year we've been doing this. That look.
Really?
Yeah, I know. We've been in it for a while now.
It feels like 45 years.
What? 45 minutes, huh? Where are we at?
I thought it felt like more than 45 minutes. Okay.
Hi, it's me, Paula Poundstone.
And it's me, Adam Felber.
We have a podcast called Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone. It's a comedy podcast where we bring on experts to teach us stuff we need to know.
And by the way, the guy who came to tell us what to do when you encounter a bear never showed up.
Anyway, it's fun. You are guaranteed laughs in every episode.
You can't really guarantee laughs. What if somebody doesn't laugh? We'll get sued.
Join us for our next episode where we have an expert in consumer law explain to us how to defend ourselves against one humorless litigious shut-in with enough time on their hands to sue us over our unfulfilled claim of guaranteed laughs in every episode. here at MaximumFun.org.
The cat of the week is Mabel from Green Bank, West Virginia.
And we're back.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot.
You forgot a lady's name. That's the cliffhanger we ended on.
Yeah, the MCU lady. I would love. She'd be an amazing dork for us. Just because casting is fascinating to me. Because you have to. If you, she must have been psyched to cast Black Panther because you know so many different people. From what I've talked to numerous people who were in casting before, and you just know all these people, and you can't get them work.
Yeah.
And finally, you get a movie where everybody's supposed to be a person of color. You're like, I can finally get all these amazing actors work.
That sounds good,
and it's neat.
I had a bunch of ultrasounds today.
Oh,
I was feeling like all
because you had a kidney stone.
No,
Maybe.
I don't think I have a kidney stone. Well, I don't even know.
What did they say?
I was like, let me just rule out the worst case scenario, ovarian cancer, right off the bat. So, and I haven't felt worse, and sometimes, but you never know if it's something. I think like something goes wrong, and then you start to adjust to it, and then you just go, "Oh, that's the way I feel now," and so. So I was like, what if that's happening? What if I'm just adjusting to bloatedness and thinking, menopause or too much coffee or something? And it's like, hey, it's something I should really look at. So anyway, I just had a bunch of stuff. But it took.
Did they give you? Well, did they tell you what it was?
Well, no, I went to the doctor, and he didn't roll his eyes. Thank you, but he did, make it seem like I was being a little hyper vigilant.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So. But he was the one to suggest that I might have a kidney stone, and just, if it hurts really bad, go to the ER. I'm like,
oh, that's right.
Dude, no. I don't. What? But, and then the ultrasound appointments are like really far out, so I paid for my own.
Oh, there you go.
Today. Anyway.
But you haven't heard back what the.
No. But,
oh, there she is. Yeah. Her name is Sarah Finn.
Oh, okay.
Sarah Finn's the MCU woman who I would love to have on The Dork Forest, and Kyle Founder.
Thank God we wrapped up that riveting storyline.
Well, do you know what did the ultrasound say?
Oh, nothing. As far as I know, it's fine. No.
You're, okay.
I think. Although the lady sighed a lot.
Do you know what I heard is that when you want to get a test done with a medical professional,
right,
and they say, "Well, I don't think you need that," your best response to that, and this I learned essentially on Black Twitter.
Yes, me too. But
which was to say, "Oh, can you put that in my record?"
Yes, exactly.
That you have decided that I don't need that.
Yeah,
because then they will fold like a fucking house of cards and get you the test you want.
Yeah,
is that what you did?
I didn't go that far, but I just said I'd like to rule out. I'd like to rule out ovarian cancer.
Yeah,
immediately.
Yeah,
right now.
Right now.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Audience supported.